Mr. Bravenik, how much time are you all asking for voir dire?
What, I'm sorry?
How much time are you all asking for voir dire?
Well, I think the state has an issue that they want to talk to you about. So I don't think they want to ask for any time for 4 years.
Oh, no, this is going.
Well, I think they've got a legitimate argument. And I hate to say that, but I think it's a fair argument.
Judge, so, and I guess we were gonna have this hearing closer whenever we were about to go on this. So we subpoenaed 2 witnesses in this case yesterday. So we have a jail call last night from the defendant telling these witnesses not to appear.
All right, that sounds like forfeiture by wrongdoing. So the confrontation clause doesn't apply. So what's the issue?
So that was just something that we were just gonna file a motion, Judge. I just hadn't had the time to work.
Oh,
on it,
okay.
Just because it was pretty short notice. And we had just uploaded the jail call just because it happened
Okay.
last night.
All
Well,
right.
I mean, this is new information to me and this changes my way of doing the case. And I am not ready based on that information.
All right, we're going forward. If somebody makes a jail call allegedly last night, this wasn't a jail call that has been sitting around forever. If it's a jail call that was made last night, state wouldn't know about it until they looked at it.
And I wouldn't know about it until this morning.
So you all are on notice. He's alleged to have made a phone call. You have it. Have you turned it over to the defense?
My understanding is that our paralegal uploaded it in the case or either
no.
this morning.
Just have them give it to him now. Let him listen to it. Let his client listen to it. This case is going to trial. He's been in jail and this is 5 settings, so it's going.
Judge, the only other thing, so we did get discovery, there was a co-defendant in this case. The discovery mainly pertains to the co-defendant. That's what I've been uploading this morning as well, but we weren't going to use any of the co-defendant items.
This is going to trial today.
So let me just be clear. I'll need to make a record. I believe the state of the law is I'm entitled to time to prepare for a trial. I believe that's under the due process costs and due course of law.
Mhm.
I have not had time to do that. It will adversely affect my client. I understand you have the absolute right as a trial judge to call my case. I cannot keep you from doing it.
Mhm.
I don't prefer to do things twice.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm raising the issue. with
I
you.
understand what issue you're raising. This is going to trial. If he made a phone call allegedly
Well, I don't know.
recently, well, we're going to find out. They're going to give you the phone call. He'll be able to listen to the phone call. But if he made a phone call last night and it's something new that they didn't know about beforehand and they're just getting it, it's going. So
It's an interesting interpretation of the law.
I know, I appreciate the interesting interpretation, but that's what happens when clients make phone calls from the jail and think that the phone calls are not recorded, when it clearly says when somebody's making a phone call, this phone call is being recorded. And then the person on the receiving end of the
Judge,
phone call.
I understand
it
the
says
argument. I'm simply telling you as a litigator
Mhm.
that it changes the trial strategy. I believe it does affect his due process rights, and I will want to make that
Well,
absolutely, as they put it, there is no other kind of clear but crystal on the record.
oh,
And then you may overrule that.
Yeah.
I may then cite the case law that tells you you're wrong. You may ignore that and then.
oh, let me just tell you what's going to end up happening. I'm not hearing any motions for continuance unless a motion for continuance is filed and filed properly. And number 2,
Well, now, how would I do it in writing when I just found out about it? All right, so I will go back to the office and I will prepare that motion for continuance and I will
and
do
then
that.
I will hear it. And if I'm telling everybody, if that motion for continuance is based upon a phone call that he made last night, this trial is going. All right, who's here on Janelle Williams?
About a case that we do have on the docket. I don't know that my client needs to be up there, but we do need to.
Which case is
discuss an
this?
issue
Furlough?
That Eric Gonzalez Lopez, the one where Mr. Berrocal had been having visits with my
Yes.
client.
Judge, so defense came this morning. There was some indication in conversations with the detective looking into whatever's happening with that other guy. That there may have been video conferences with her client that, again, we haven't pulled. We didn't think to pull them. Defense is asking if we can pull them. I know that's going to take a bit of time, though.
Well, and just to let the court know, so one of my issues throughout this case, and I'm going to have to kind of tiptoe around a little bit, is that I've always felt that my communication with this young man, who is only just barely 18 years old, so and all that entails. I think I've been very concerned once I found out about this gentleman having these visitations with my client and other people, that somehow had impacted my client and my client's family not to be able, for fear, confusion, influence of this other person, to not be able to have the types of conversations, honest conversations that we needed to have. I think that's impacted this young man's perception of his situation, of my role, of what's going on here. I'll remind the court, I know you already know, but he's not from this country. He comes from a system that's very different from ours. And so when I spoke with the detective who's investigating the case, who reached out to me, he did let me know that he believed that there were actually some video recordings of these visitations. And so I am keenly interested in seeing those because I am desperate to have any kind of
Thursday or next month.
input or clue about why my communication with my own client has been so greatly impacted. And this is a kid who, I just don't want this boy going to prison because he couldn't hear what he needed to hear from me.
All right, you can bring him out and talk to him, but this case has been on the docket for an extremely long time. I understand the issues that you're facing, but bring him out, talk to him. And if it will help you all, I'll let him know, let his family know that that person is not an attorney. Hasn't been to, as far as I know, he hasn't been to anybody's law school in this country or anywhere else. And he's I believe he's at the Bear County Jail now.
That's correct, but would I be, sorry,
Yes.
would I? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm afraid to even say anything. Would I be able to, would the court entertain just a short continuance for me to review those?
They don't even know where the videos are or
I
videos.
can, the detective certainly knows, and I have his name and his
All right,
contact
so,
information and everything.
I mean, you can
So,
discuss with your client, but I don't see how these videos are impacting this case unless that person visited him and gave him some information that was Brady.
well,
And I don't think he
there's
had.
no way, there's no way for any of us to know unless we look at it, and I sure would hate to find that out after the fact.
Oh, if you all find it out after the fact, then that sounds like a new trial. But this case has been on the docket an extremely long time.
So you're denying my request to have access to those videos prior to
I'm
the
denying-
beginning of the trial?
I'm denying a request for what it sounds like people want to continue, and so I'm not continuing this case anymore.
Could I at least ask the state to see if they can provide those to me at any time,
Sure.
as soon as possible?
And I
All right, does
appreciate-
anybody want to call the detective? I'm sure if they've investigated, he has the video.
Well, I was also gonna call our investigator to see if there were any jail calls because it's still.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome.